Everybody, welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel, and I apologize that things are so echoey and that my microphone quality has gone down significantly, but I am broadcasting from my kitchen because the 3-year-old is home. He had a bad night last night, had a bad dream, and had trouble getting back to sleep, so he stayed home today, and he didn't want to go play in the playroom. So we are upstairs. He's still pretty tired, actually. He's just kind of relaxing on the couch right now. So I am up here because I figured broadcasting from my kitchen would be better than not broadcasting at all. So here we are. And my good friend Functional should be here soon, hopefully. So we will have a good Canadian day, Wednesday. But I do have some news that I am going to attempt to read to you all. And I think Pincalo said he wanted the link too. So I'm gonna send that to him too. Okay. All right, let's go over here. I hope you're all having a good Wednesday afternoon / morning. It was a snow day yesterday, so that's why there was no Beat the Blind Girl. I had both boys home because we got about a foot of snow from overnight, so it was basically no school, no daycare. So that's what was going on yesterday. Hello, Grillin' Pirate Pete. All right, let's open up the Twitter DMs because Pincalo has sent some very interesting stories for us to listen to today. And as I said, since my microphone is the internal mic, I'm going to attempt to have voiceover read things to me, and then I'm going to try to speak it because I don't want to have voiceover in the internal microphone because that will just sound terrible. Do you want to go to the playroom? Or do you want to stay up here still? Okay. There we go. Come on. All right. Direct messages, please, Twitter. Thank you. Ooh, chili. Slow cooker chili. Yummy. That sounds really good, actually. Okay. Oh man, that sounds so good. Now I'm hungry, Pete. Now I want chili. Okay, what's the first story here? Is Canada ready for a COVID-19 vaccine ramp up? Oh, I think this is a video. I think this is a video. Please don't autoplay. I need to share the screen. Please. Please be good. Please don't autoplay. Please don't autoplay. Yes. Yes. How many minutes is this? I just want to see how many minutes this is. Come on. Why did you put me all the way at the top of the page? That's very frustrating. Please don't do that. Thank you for not playing, though. Okay. This is I just want the video length. 2 minutes. Okay, 2-minute video. Let's get to the play button and we'll go share the screen. So as it is Canadian Wednesdays, we are going to have all Canadian news today. All right, share the screen, please, StreamYard. Share the audio, please. Okay, here we go. Hey, Scap. Canada is ready for a better class of Prime Minister. It won't pick up that there's a mic in the skull candies. I've tried, like, here's the stupid thing. If I even plug in my Apple headset, honey, it won't go through the mic in that. It will still go through the mic in the internal, in the computer. It's frickin' stupid. I think the other Canadian is having an issue with real life stuff. He has not answered my messages, which means he is not feeling well. Okay. Here's the play button. Here we go.
This week, we are on schedule to receive our single largest Pfizer vaccine shipment to date.
After weeks of frustrating delays, optimistic words from the Prime Minister. But already another unexpected glitch. Snowstorms across the U.S. held up deliveries by a day. When they're back on schedule, here's how the vaccines will be distributed this week. BC and the Prairies will get just under 130,000 doses. Atlantic Canada, almost 26,000. Quebec, more than 91,000. And Ontario, nearly 157,000 vaccines.
That's what you're calling the largest shipment of vaccine. That's 100. Okay, so 130. That's barely 1 million doses. Yeah, me too. That's barely 1 million doses. We have 39 million people in this country, and you want to get people vaccinated by this drop of, oh, we're gonna vaccinate people. Oh, plop, a little drop in the bucket. Plop, a little drop in the bucket. What? This is ridiculous.
This Liberal government is failing.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh wants the government to fund federal vaccination sites across the country and involve the military. The government says if the provinces need extra help, they'll get the support.
They've been asking for extra help forever. What's wrong, sweetie? What's wrong, honey? Uh-oh. The little boy wants to sit on the couch and commentate Paw Patrol. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to describe Paw Patrol to me. Isn't the remote on the couch? Push the play button. Okay then. All right. He was literally commentating Paw Patrol. That cannot be called a serious effort. No, it can't. Exactly, Skep. He's just telling me exactly what's going on. Mayor Humdinger's running away.
But
It properly is a provincial jurisdiction to determine the populations that they'll vaccinate in which sequence.
using guidance from the National Advisory Committee on Immunization, each province has prioritized who gets the vaccine first. And that leads to the biggest question for Canadians. How will people know when it's their turn?
I'd love to be able to look you in the eye and tell you with a straight face right now exactly how, for example, an 80-year-old in the community can get access to vaccination, but that it hasn't yet been operationalized.
Wow. So basically, I don't know. We don't know when and how you are going to get vaccinated. This is the message that Canadians are getting. The government wants to vaccinate everybody, but we don't know when and how it's going to happen. That's fantastic. Okay, moving on.
Provinces are already preparing to expand vaccinations to people 80 and above.
Booking opened up this morning for the prototype immunization clinic. Those receiving an invitation to book an appointment are being selected randomly by their postal code, and these are the postal codes which are within an hour distance of the clinic site.
Most provinces are planning on using call centers and online reservations to book vaccination appointments. But now that the vaccines are coming, the trick will be execution, and there's no time to waste. Hannah Thibodeau, CBC News, Ottawa.
So in other words, we have no idea how this is going to work. Yay! How inspiring of confidence this is. It hasn't been operationalized is translated to we haven't got a clue and have no idea when the clues will be in the future. Yep. Hello, Fury Kitten. Exactly. We no idea when the clues will be coming. We don't have any clues, and clues are not expected to be coming anytime soon, and we don't think we'll let you know when the clues have arrived. All right, here we go. Now, I don't know if any of you will remember or will have heard of Christine Jessup and the murder of Christine Jessup. I, quite frankly, do not remember the details of this murder case. The name is familiar to me. Yeah. So I don't remember this case offhand, but there's a story here that is positing the theory that his killer or her killer may have struck again. So let's take a look here into this case or this article. Okay. Share any audio just in case. All right. Did Christine Jessup's killer strike again? So, and this is written by Mondell, author Mondell, Michelle Mondell. So DNA has identified Cavelin? Yeah, Cavelin Hoover in the late 1990s of Toronto as the killer of 9-year-old Christine Jessup in 1984. So this is a picture of the piece of garbage. She lived with the killer for nearly a decade and never suspected a thing. Well, you really never do. I hate when people say that. You never suspect it. Well, of course you never suspect it. Okay. Ken Jessup still finds it hard to believe. Even after Heather Hoover recently broke her silence and spoke to CBC News about her ex-husband Kelvin Hoover. So I guess this was Christine Jessup's stepfather, Kelvin Hoover. After 36 painful years, Jessup finally learned in October that Hoover, a family friend, had been identified by Toronto police as the man who had abducted and killed his little sister. Oh, sister, okay. I see here. So yeah, his little sister Christine. But he would never have to answer his horrendous crime. He had taken his own life in 2015. Coward. Heather Hoover told police she knew Heather Hoover told police she knew nothing about her husband's evil secret. She repeated the same thing in an interview that caught Jessup by surprise. It was like a kick in the you-know-what. According to the report, Heather always believed that Hoover was at work when Christine went missing in 1984, and now wonders why police never questioned his alibi. The Hoovers worked for what company? Hold on. The Hoovers worked for Eastern Independent Telecom. He was a cable installer. She worked dispatch, and that was where they had met and befriended Bob Jessup. Oh, and then his family. So this is straight out of a Criminal Minds episode. Seriously. Hey, Selecta Boy. Like, seriously, this is straight out of a freaking Criminal Minds episode. The cable installer befriends the family and then freaking takes one of the kids, you know. This is yeah. Okay, now we must go through our advertisements and get to the rest of the story. They socialized together, their kids played together, and according to Ken, they were among the few people who knew he and his mom were going that day to visit his dad in jail for fraud, and Christine wasn't coming along. Oh. Wow. 3 months after she disappeared from their Queensville home, Christine's body was discovered in a wooded area in Sunderland, a few 50 kilometers away. Damn. That's rough. Toronto Police Sergeant Steve Smith told the Toronto Sun they've learned that Hoover spent time outdoors in the area with an old friend who lived in the town. Heather told CBC News that she separated from Hoover in late 1993 after he became increasingly difficult to live with. Smith says he had increasing problems with alcohol abuse and mental illness. As he got older, this event probably weighed heavily on him and caused his downward spiral. I would hope so. Let's see. Yeah, all of our cases in Canada are pretty much a Criminal Minds script. You're right, honey. Um, during their marriage, even as Hoover, wow, during their marriage, even as Hoover consoled him after she visited Christine's grave. Heather said he gave no clue that he was responsible for her slaying. What a cold-blooded piece of shit. Jessup remains skeptical. He must have confessed to someone, he insists. But it wasn't his wife, police say. I believe Heather, says Smith. I don't think he was around the home a lot. I think she had a lot of kids to look after at the time, and I don't think she questioned what he was doing when he said he was at work. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's probably... Yep. Alcohol problem, imagine my shock, says Skep. Pete, I think you've hit the head on the nail here. They now know his job took Hoover across the province, his job took Hoover across the province as well as several cities in the U.S. Police continue to investigate whether he is connected to any other unsolved murders. While Jessup remains unsure about how much Heather really knew, maybe she was as blindsided as she says, he was convinced her ex-husband killed again, and he believes Nicole Moran was Hoover's next victim, and she too was dumped somewhere in the Sunderland area. 8-year-old Nicole went missing from her West Mall apartment on July 30th, 1985, 3 months after the Jessup's next-door neighbor Guy Moran, no relation, was arrested for Christine's murder. He was acquitted a decade later. It's always the trucker, always. Jessup believes the arrogant Hoover abducted another girl after he saw police got the wrong man for Christine's murder. They should send in cadaver dogs in the spring. There was a swamp there in the forest. Nicole's body could be there. You know, this guy's pretty adamant about, maybe I've watched too much Criminal Minds, but this guy's insinuating himself a lot into the investigation, if you know what I'm talking about. It's a theory investigators have diligently explored, Smith says, but they've yet to find the evidence to tie the cable installer to her building at the time. Interesting. So now I remember the Christine Jessup case after reading this story. Okay. Next story. Okay. Let's share this screen here. Okay. No, I want to be on the frickin' StreamYard page, not on the story just now. I need to share the screen. Thank you. Share. I wonder what that share video file thing is. Pinkalo, I think that's how we can share those downloaded videos. So, where's the stupid headline? Here it is. Opposition blasts Ford for allowing Ontario to begin reopening, warns province is transitioning into a disaster. Of course. Of course. Cause let's fearmonger some more and keep locked down. Freaking ridiculous. Okay. Toronto NDP leader Andrea Horwath blasted Premier Doug Ford over the government's plan to reopen the province as experts warn it could spark a third wave of COVID-19 that will lead to yet another lockdown. Why lockdowns don't work? Anyway, Horwath pressed Ford about why the government is choosing to reopen the government during question period on Tuesday at Queen's Park. The comments come on the same day that 20 Ontario regions transitioned into the color-coded reopening framework, which allows for some non-essential businesses to begin operating again. Push OK, buddy. Well, unpause it. Push the same button. Or do you need help? Oh, now you're fast forwarding, buddy. There you go. Better? Silly boy. Sorry, guys. He's really out of it. He just doesn't want to do much today. The Premier is simply refusing to listen to the advice of experts, even though he claims the opposite, Horwath said. The Premier is risking the spread of COVID-19, more deaths, more closures, more lockdowns, because he's refusing to listen to the experts and opening too quickly. Wait, what? No, honey, I meant the videos that you were downloading to watch. That you had downloaded from TikTok and stuff, and you weren't sure how to share them on the stream, and I think that's how we can do it. Is we can share those videos through the share video file button, because they've added a video file button, and it's an unlimited size, I believe, that you can share. That's what I was trying to say. No, we shouldn't have ever closed down. I know. I put out videos and everything about the coffee stream, but nobody from there comes over. Well, a few people come over. You okay, buddy? What'd you drop? Nothing. It sounded like you dropped a book. Ford has continuously defended the government Ford has continuously defended the government's plan to restart the economy, saying that Ontario is not reopening and that this is a transition period. Well, he's just trying to do his job. Yeah, you're probably right. Just a thought. We're making the transition slowly, Ford said. By no means are we reopening things up wide open like we did in September. We're going to be cautious. Horvath says that she doesn't agree that Ontario should be opening at all, and that added that Ford's plan is about transitioning into a disaster. Horvath, shut up. My question is, when the Premier is receiving warnings from the Ontario Medical Association, from health experts that are crystal clear that they oppose this reopening, why is the Premier ignoring them? Because we have to get back to work. We can't just stay home. Over the past week, infectious disease experts have warned that with Ontario students returning to in-person learning and some non-essential businesses reopening, the province could be headed toward a third wave of reopening by April. Oh, shocking! You know, when they've moved March break to. You know, so here's what's going to happen in April. So there's going to be Easter weekend from April 1st to the 4th or 5th. And then there's going to be March break from April 12th to the 20th. And then people are going to then these medical experts are going to tell Ford that we have to lock down again. And then, you know what else is going to happen then? What are you doing in there? So, and then school's going to be done online until the end of the year. That's what's going to happen. I guarantee you. You heard it here, folks. It's going to be Easter, then March break, and then they're going to lock everything down again, and school's going to be done online till June. That's what's going to happen. I will be right back. Sir? Excuse me, sir. Sir? What are you doing? Sir? You pressed play? Are you standing in a box? I'm standing on a box. Oh, you're standing on a box. Oh, I see. I don't actually, but I see. What would happen if there wasn't a disaster, if the people just ignored the government? Well, then they'd get arrested, like that guy who kept his restaurant open. I think it's a little bit dangerous, quite frankly, to be reopening schools and reopening businesses at any capacity. Infectious disease specialist Abdu somebody that I can't pronounce told CTV News on Monday, I think we need to wait a little longer. How much longer? We were closed for 6 goddamn weeks. Colin Furness, an expert in infectious disease and epidemiology from the University of Toronto, said last week that reopening when the super contagious COVID-19 variants will lead to an ugly third wave of the disease. I am really nervous about reopening in the middle of winter. What do you mean? You want us to stay shut until spring? You want us to be like bears and hibernate? Right? The ones who promote lockdowns are the ones with protected high-end jobs. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Furness pointed to the deadly COVID-19 outbreak at Roberto Place, a retirement home in Barrie, Ontario, where the B1.1.7 variant spread rapidly through the facility as evidence of how dangerous the strain can be. Health officials confirmed the variant played a role in how quickly the disease spread between staff and residents, which ultimately led to the deaths of at least 69 people. If you also look at what happened in Ireland and the UK, the curves are pretty clear. What seems safe enough and the UK variant spread rapidly. It's anywhere from 35 to 60% more deadly. That's a huge margin. That is a huge margin. Furness said he believes that sometime around April, Ontario's case number will rise high enough that the province will need to close schools and go into lockdown again, but he says the summer could be better for Ontarians. No, it can't. You're right. You're very right, Pincalo. It cannot be a disease and a virus. Toronto, York Region, Peel Region, and North Bay are the only regions in the province where a stay-at-home order remains in effect. The order expires on February 22nd, and it is expected that at that time those regions will also join the color-coded network. Yeah, because they should. This is stupid. This is absolutely stupid. Okay. Next story. A devise of Hey! Hey, all you need. Blood pressure. The birds are missing? Oh dear. That's not good. The Paw Patrol will find them! All right. We now interrupt this stream for a Paw Patrol commentary break. Huh? Your puppy? You have a puppy? Maybe he's sleeping. He ran away through the TV. Okay. No, I have not been watching Poltergeist with the child in the living room. Oh dear. Ghost puppy, yeah. Okay. Canada expected to face pressure to reverse withdrawal and send troops to Iraq. Of course they are. What happened? Ottawa, Canada is expected to face pressure this week to Canada is expected to face pressure this week as to reverse a recent drawdown of troops from Iraq as the NATO military alliance prepares to expand its presence in the country. Of course. But Trump was the bad guy, right? Trump was the warmongering whatever. Whatever. Okay. War Machine go burr. Yep. Yep. Ottawa, Canada is expected to face pressure this week to reverse a recent drawdown of troops from Iraq as the NATO military alliance prepares to expand its presence in the country. The alliance has persistent concerns about Islamic State extremists and Iranian-backed militia. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg predicted this week that defense ministers from across the alliance would approve the deploying of more trainers and advisors to help Iraqi security forces fight the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant. Okay. Defense Minister Harjit Sashjan will be among those participating in the discussions during a 2-day closed-door meeting, where he and counterparts from across the alliance will also discuss Afghanistan and the threats posed by China and Russia. Of course, Russia. It's got to have Russia. It's got to be in there. You can't not have Russia there. I expect the ministers will agree to launch an expanded mission with more allied personnel training and advising in more secured institutions across the country, Stoltenberg said during a news conference on Monday. The mission will expand gradually in response to that situation. This follows requests from the Iraqi government in close coordination with the global coalition so that together we can ensure that ISIL does not return. The proposed expansion would see a dramatic increase in the number of troops assigned to NATO's current training missions and likely result in pressure on Canada to stop sending troops back into Iraq after having withdrawn nearly 200 over the past year. When they say across the alliance, I take it they haven't asked the UK then. No, I guess not. Ugh. How many weeks have the totally peaceful, non-profiteering, warmongering Democrats, POS Democrats, been back in power again? Like 4. Yeah, Russia, 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 Russia. Hey, NATO, will the US help the UK in its upcoming war with China? I doubt it. Yeah, let the EU take on the Middle East. The US spent enough money on that worthless place. But you don't think Joe Biden won't finagle the US back into NATO? I do. The current NATO mission was launched in 2018 and involved in around The current NATO mission began in 2018 and involved around 500 troops with the aim of building up Iraq's military so it could better combat extremist groups like ISIL. Canada contributed 200 of those initial troops, and the mission was led by a Canadian general. The Department of National Defense says only 17 Canadian troops are now working with the NATO mission, command of which was passed to Denmark in the fall. The NATO mission isn't the only area where Canada has started to withdraw troops. from the war against ISIL, with the military saying it has fewer than 400 troops in the region in January, down from a high of more than 800 or 850 several years ago. In addition to the NATO training mission, Canada's war against ISIL has meant deploying special forces troops to northern Iraq, transporting aircraft and intelligence units to Kuwait, and training teams to Jordan and Lebanon. Canadian military commanders have previously linked the drawdown to a decreased need for trainers, as the Iraqi military has increasingly been able to conduct operations against ISIL and other extremist groups on its own. Isn't that what the point was? Seriously, wasn't that the freaking point? Those are those aren't coffins. That's just a right-wing talking point. Those are just non-accompanying. Those are just unaccompanied non-corporeal hosts. Hello there, Costin. The report also describes ISIL as an ongoing menace, with estimates between 8,000 and 16,000 extremist fighters in neighboring Syria, and also warning that Iranian-backed militia pose some of the greatest threats. That threat was underscored on Monday when a military base in northern Iraq was hit, including Canadian Special Forces, was targeted by a rocket attack. One person was killed and several others were injured, including a U.S. service member. Defense Department spokeswoman Jessica Lemerand said that all Canadian military personnel at the base, located next to the Birbal International Airport in Iraq's Kurdistan region, were safe and accounted for. One of the many Iranian-backed militias in Iraq claimed responsibility for the attack, the latest attributed to such groups, with many observers seen as proxies in the broader slow burn conflict between the U.S. and Iran. Sechin declined in December to say whether Canada's mission against ISIL would even be extended beyond its current end date of March 31st, instead emphasizing in an interview with the Canadian press that Canada would continue to be a reliable partner, and that's in quotes. However, the defense minister did say that the government would base any decision ensuring whether the hard-fought gains made in previous years are not lost, particularly in Iraq. Basically, as Pincalo said, War Machine go brr. But she believes Canada can and should contribute more troops to Iraq to ensure the country can continue to stand not only against ISIL, but also Iran and its militias. It's a small force, in my humble view, she said. But the ask is so low, and the potential upside of that is really high. Okay. What'd you do, buddy? You were gonna blame Skep for the KT extinction. All right, last story here. It's a CBC article. You're the biggest winner in the world? Oh, yeah? Hey, buddy, what's happening on Paw Patrol right now? No, we're not going to have another commentary break? No, he did not. All we need to do is wall off the Middle East and cut off all travel to it. That sounds like a good idea. Let them take the care of themselves. Okay. Last story here. Okay, so this is a CBC article. Police use of tech like Clearview AI that can breach privacy due to be discussed at board. I should hope so. This is posted 6 hours ago. And this is a picture of the Waterloo Regional Police Chief right here. Mr. Brian Larkin. Waterloo Regional Police Services Chief Brian Larkin wants a provincial working group about police use of tech that could affect people's privacy. A new procedure about how police use technology that could affect people's privacy is going before the Waterloo Regional Police Services WRPS board today. It comes just over a year after Chief Brian Larkin apologized to the board for sharing inaccurate information about the service's use of Clearview AI, a controversial facial recognition software. Cannonfall? CBC, the BBC's less evil twin. Slightly less. Not by much. According to the new procedure, if a police member wants to use a technology that involves the collection of personal information or that may affect a person's expectation of privacy, they must prepare a business case and inform their senior leader about how they plan to use it. Okay. Before using a new technology, police must also seek advice about possible privacy risks. If the technology is considered high risk, then the police may perform a so-called privacy impact assessment. This could involve consulting with the province's privacy commissioner or with the public. Finally, the chief of police has to sign off on any new or expanded use of technology that could affect a reasonable expectation of privacy. Law professor Sam Trosal says he's glad to see a police service putting serious thought into how they use technology. But he said the procedure itself could be stronger. I think he's correct. What they're doing here is the default is no public engagement, and under some circumstances we might bring in some public engagement, says Trosal, who is a member of the faculty of Western University's Faculty of Law. I think they need to flip that. The default has to be Pardon, sweetheart? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, well, Mayor Humdinger's not a very nice guy. I think they need to flip that. The default has to be a process where there is some public engagement. I think he's right. I think he's absolutely right. You are a timbering tower. Police are seeking advice. Last seen fleeing the area. Police must seek advice, not very likely. No. It's almost like they have irreconcilable ideological differences that can't be absolved by intervention from a from. Oh, Logan's a great co-star. They're both great co-stars. Sam Tressel is a professor of law at University Western in London, Ontario. Tressel said that this doesn't have to mean disclosing investigational details, but he said any time a new technology is used that has privacy implications, police should consult with a full range of people who have an interest in the matter, such as defense lawyers, civil liberties activists, and the social justice community. You're doing what, honey? How about you read a book? Yep. Yep. Or do a puzzle. Yep. Yep. Oh, what did you do? What did you drop? What did you drop, sweetie? Nothing. I did nothing. Yeah, right. Oh, you found the thermometer. Good. Now, can you come down, please? No. Yeah. I'm building a pirate. You're building a pirate ship, are you? A big pirate ship. A big pirate ship. What are you building the pirate ship out of? Puzzle pieces. Oh, well, you're building a ship out of puzzle pieces. How interesting. Sorry, guys. Tressel said this does. Oh, I already read that. Although it may be more work for up front, Tressel said this strategy is better for police in the long run. Otherwise, he said, they risk leaving themselves open to the argument that their use of a technology during an investigation was overreach. Yep. It would be better for them to err on the side of transparency in the development stage than to have actual viable prosecution jeopardized because they used technology that was inappropriate, said Tressel. Absolutely. Absolutely right. Let's see. This will hands down be the cutest stream. This reminds me why I always buy other people's kids their first drum kit for Christmas. I can't stand how what? Let's see. Bang. Smash. Yeah. What are you doing? Nothing. The board report also notes that municipal police services such as WRPS are spending a lot of time writing privacy assessments and guidelines on particular guidelines on a local level or technologies at a local level when it would be better to develop guidelines on a provincial level. To that end, Brian Larkin is calling on the province's Information and Privacy Commission to develop a working group on the matter. And that's, I think, in correspondence attached to the board report, he said this group would be made up of other chiefs and members of the police and community, as well as privacy, legal, and records and legal management specialists in partnership with the Ministry of the Solicitor General. Okay. Larkin said the provincial working group could, when necessary, also consult with Crown attorneys, defense counsels, civil liberties activists, human rights advocates, and people from marginalized communities. And that's that story. Oh, they don't. This is them naturally. Very much the ends do not justify the means. Exactly, Fairy Kitten. Hey, Wikipedia snippet. Brandy and malted milk. Oh, that's funny. So, guys, that brings us to the end of the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you for your patience. And I'm sure Logan made it interesting. I hope you guys had a great day, time, and continue to have a great Wednesday. I will be doing a Beat the Blind Girl stream tomorrow afternoon because Logan will be back to school and the Alex will be at school, so everything will be back to normal. So I'll be doing a Beat the Blind Girl tomorrow, and I will be on Minions tomorrow night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. So, you want help building a pirate ship? Okay. I apparently need to go help build a pirate ship. So I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again on another stream. Thank you, Skep.